Let's bring in Paul Kelly now, Editor-at-Large at The Australian. Paul, more on the lockdowns. We've got half the nation, in fact more than half the nation, in lockdown as you and I speak this afternoon, Paul.
We have, Kieran, the premiers are still in charge. The premiers are still running the show, and lockdowns are the preferred method. South Australia's gone into lockdown. Dan Andrews is extending his lockdown, but bragging that by going hard and fast, he will solve Victoria's problems quickly. Andrews can't resist having goes at New South Wales. Gladys Berejiklian in New South Wales continues to struggle with today 27 infections still in the community. So it's going to be quite a struggle for New South Wales.
It certainly looks it. One of the bright spots, we are hitting these benchmarks now, these milestones, long awaited, but now 1 million doses of Pfizer this week, so that is ramping up.
That's important. Greg Hunt has emphasised that, but the truth, Kieran, is it's not enough. We'll get, during the month of August, about 1 million doses of Pfizer a week. That's good news. That's progress. We need to do better. And the reality is we'll have to wait a couple of months yet till Pfizer supplies come on stream, en masse, in a really big way that can make a significant difference. At the moment, we've got about 36% of people who've had one jab. That's good. It's steadily going up, but there's a long way to go yet.
We've seen various stages of the pandemic and the politics at play, from landslide victories in state elections to a situation now where the Prime Minister is effectively facing 8 opposition leaders.
Well, I think that's right in general terms. I don't know if he's facing 8 opposition leaders, Kieran, but certainly he's facing premiers who are empowered and some premiers prepared to readily campaign against him. And the problem Scott Morrison's got, of course, is that he can't control the agenda. And this is an enormous difficulty for a Prime Minister. It's rare that we see this, that he actually doesn't have the instruments to control the policy, control the agenda, because he's got to wait for more vaccines. And what this has meant, of course, is the federal government has lost control of the message. Now, it may well be different at the end of the year. It may well be different when the whole country's vaccinated, then the pace of the vaccination rollout might no longer be an issue. The question is, what will Scott Morrison's ratings be at that time, and how much damage will have been done to the federal government? But it is an extraordinary situation. I certainly haven't seen anything like this before.
And just quickly, Paul, almost out of time, but you're thinking on the election timing, are we looking like March, April of next year?
Well, it's next year, Kieran. I mean, I wouldn't want to predict when next year, but look, Scott Morrison never had any intention of going to an election this year, contrary to all the reports along those lines which were published in the media. The election will be next year. I think he's probably got an incentive to push it off for as long as he can next year, maybe March, April, maybe April, May, because clearly he wants to ensure that the vaccination coverage is as comprehensive as possible. That's a big issue for him. He wants to be able to say most of the country's vaccinated.
Yeah, it underpins everything, doesn't it, Paul? Thank you, as always. Talk to you soon.